They say pain changes people. That heartbreak doesn't just break you, it rebuilds you. I never believed those words until the day she laughed in my face and said, "You're just not enough for the life I want." That one sentence didn't just break my heart, it lit a fire inside me that still burns today. My name is Daniel Brooks, and this is not just a love story. This is a story of rejection, of betrayal, of rising from the ashes, and of becoming the man she never saw coming. I met her when I had nothing but a bus pass and a dream. Her name was Alina, and I swear to you, the first time I saw her, the world slowed down. She had this quiet beauty, like autumn light coming through a window on a rainy afternoon. I was working at a local grocery store in Atlanta, stocking shelves, sweeping floors. She walked in wearing a red coat and a tired smile. I remember asking if she needed help finding anything, and she said, "Yeah." Peace of mind. We both laughed. That was the beginning. I used to believe moments like that were signs from the universe. Maybe they still are, but I didn't see the storm behind her smile. Through the first year, it was like a dream. We had no money, but we had long walks, cheap coffee, music, and big hopes. I'd take her to the lake after my shift, and we'd sit there talking about who we wanted to be in 5 years. She said she wanted to be a writer, and I told her I wanted to start my own tech company. She laughed and said, "You, the boy who still uses a cracked iPhone 6? I didn't mind the joke. I thought love was teasing and trust. I thought love was holding hands even when you're tired. She'd write poems for me on napkins. I still have some. And I used to tell her every night, "Someday you're gonna say, I believed in him from the start." I was so sure of us. I was so wrong. Little signs came slowly. She stopped laughing at my dumb jokes. She started checking her phone more during dinner. When I'd tell her about my startup ideas, she'd yawn or change the subject. She started saying things like, "You work too much," even though I was just trying to build something for us. And then there were the gifts. The sudden expensive perfume she didn't explain. The fancy brunches with friends I never met. Her taste changed, but so did her eyes when she looked at me. It wasn't warmth anymore. It was cold calculation. Then came the night everything cracked. It was our 3rd anniversary. I worked overtime just to buy her a necklace. Not even a fancy one, just something I knew she'd like. I came to her apartment with flowers in one hand, the necklace in the other. The door wasn't locked, which was strange. I walked in, smiling, and I froze. There was another man in her kitchen, wearing my hoodie. She didn't look shocked. She looked annoyed, like I was interrupting something casual. I dropped the necklace. The sound it made on the floor felt louder than a gunshot. I didn't scream. I didn't fight. I just stood there. She walked over, looked at me, and said words that will never leave me. Daniel, we're just not on the same level anymore. You're sweet, but I need more in life than sweet. You make $15 an hour and talk about someday. I need now. That moment shattered me. I walked out in the rain, without the flowers, without my pride. That night, I didn't sleep. I just stared at the ceiling, hearing her voice on repeat. You're not enough. For weeks, I barely ate. My hands shook at work. I stopped talking to people. I'd cry in the bathroom during my breaks. I deleted all her photos, but they stayed in my mind. Every time I looked in the mirror, I heard her words, not enough. Depression doesn't feel like sadness. It feels like silence, like floating underwater while the world goes on above you. But then, something changed. One night, I was scrolling mindlessly through job posts, still in my uniform, still numb. I saw an ad for a business course. It was expensive, way out of reach. But something inside me whispered, try. I applied for a scholarship, wrote the rawest essay of my life, and somehow I got in. That was the beginning. I started taking classes online after work. I learned coding again, took freelance gigs, slept 3 hours a night, failed a lot. But every failure sharpened me. I remembered her laughter, her words, her betrayal. They became fuel. 3 years passed. I moved cities, changed numbers, built my own software platform. It didn't happen overnight, but piece by piece, the startup I once mumbled about became real. Investors came, clients came, awards came, and suddenly I was the CEO of a growing tech company in Atlanta. I had my own office, my own building, my own rules. I dressed in suits now, drove a Tesla. But more than that, I had peace. I had self-worth. And I never saw her again until the job fair. It was just another Tuesday. We had a booth set up to recruit young talent. I walked in late, sipping my coffee. And there she was, Alina, standing in line with a resume in hand. Life has a strange way of circling back. She looked different, tired. Her eyes didn't sparkle like they used to. She didn't see me right away. But when she did, her face went pale. I walked up, smiled politely, and said, "Hi, how can I help you?" Her lips trembled. She said, "Daniel, I didn't know this was your company." I nodded. "Yeah, I started it 2 years ago. We've grown a bit." She tried to explain. Said life was hard. Said she made mistakes. Said she was young. I let her speak. I listened. Every word felt like poetry I didn't need anymore. And then she said the thing that made time stop. Do you think maybe we could talk sometime? I looked at her. Not with hate, not with love, but with clarity. I said, Alina, I spent years waiting for your love. Then I spent more years healing from it. I don't hate you, but I don't need to go backwards to prove I've moved forward. She blinked. Tears welled up. I didn't say another word. I turned. I walked away. I don't know where she is now. Maybe she's fine. Maybe she's still searching. But me? I'm not searching anymore. I found myself in the fire she left behind. I became the man she didn't believe I could be. Not to prove her wrong, but to finally believe in myself. Sometimes the people who break you are just tools in your building process. And sometimes the best revenge is not revenge at all. It's peace. It's purpose. It's walking past the person who once buried you and realizing you bloomed anyway. Because when she rejected me for my salary, she unknowingly gave me something priceless: hunger. And now, I own the company.